everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Cancel Schweezy. As always, I am your host,
Schweezy,
and I am here to bring you the news that the media really doesn't want you to know about. So you can move over John Oliver, Trevor Noah, Samantha Bee, CNN, Tucker Carlson, Quailnon, whatever you call it, because I am the new trusted, worthy news source. I don't back up any of my information, and we go over what is really going on and what is important in this world. The important information that only an honest human being would be allowed to give you, because I am the only person out there with the balls to go over all this information. And if I get canceled in the process, it's the whole point of the show. And you know what the title of the show is? You got to man up. No, I can't say that, because I've met a lot of women who are tougher than me, and I don't think I'm qualified to make that statement right now. And so I will not say man up. I'll just say toughen up. I feel like that's gender neutral. And boy, we got a lot of things that's going to offend a lot of people today. And that's just a bit of the show. It's called Cancel Schweezy. We're going to go over everything that is important. Catch up on the week. Catch up on everything of the week. Just like I want to try to make this with the production schedule of the show. I record on Friday, then we get everything done in post-production over the weekend. Then on Mondays, these episodes come out. So if you are watching this on YouTube or listening on whatever platform, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and you can like it too. This show is actually kind of meant to be disliked. So actually, if you don't like it, dislike it. I feel like it's more of a compliment to dislike this episode than to like it. So, you know what? Do whatever you want, though. But yeah, hit that subscribe button, because that's what really helps you. And then you get aware, or you can hit the bell icon. You can get aware of when we release these new episodes.
I like that.
You know, that's what's real. But no, hit that subscribe button. I also want you to know, I stream video games over on Twitch, twitch.tv/theschweezy, every Monday and Thursday, 7 p.m. Looks like on this Thursday, I will be starting the new Pokemon DLC, the Crown Tundra. Tonight, if you're watching this day of on Monday, it looks like I'm going to be playing Fortnite again. I had a good time. I don't know who will be joining me. I could be going solo and just harassing my friends. Sometimes I just call them on the phone and harass them, so that's really exciting too. So you should go check those out if you just want to sit back and enjoy and watch me be an idiot. It's like this show, but live, and that's anything. I could edit anything out in this show. I could even fake it, but that sounds like a lot of work that I don't want to do. But on that, it's live, so if I say it, it's out in the ethos, and I could get canceled in real time, which is really cool. It's really fun, and
I really like that,
as Garth would say. But no, we got a show today. I got a lot of things going on, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. But I also want to mention my new song, Oof, you gotta say it with a little bit of a emphasis if you're gonna say it, is out now. It's on Spotify, Apple Music. We got a music video on YouTube for it. The music video is terrible, but it's kind of funny at the same time, and I think that's my favorite part about that. Wherever you listen to music at, go stream it, hit that like button on that, or heart that, save it, listen to it, add it to your playlist. I think it's a fun dance song, so if you're having a quarantine party or a dance party by yourself, it's a fun song to dance to. I wrote it about a relationship I was in when she was really toxic, and she would justify sleeping around and doing stupid shit, and she would just say the stupidest shit possible. And it was kind of hard for me. When I wanted out, she wanted me back and stuff like that. She's a terrible person. You do not know her identity, but I can guarantee you she is a terrible person unless you ask her and get both sides of the story. But don't do that, because that makes the song less fun. So that's that with that. So I can only I speak on my behalf. So but go listen to that. Oof. On Spotify under Schweezy, or
Schweezy,
as Big Ed would say. Go check that out right now. I love that song. I really do believe in that song. I really think it could work with any, like, it's a good dance song too. So even if you dance, like, tag me in that shit and post it on Instagram. I will watch it, and I'll most likely repost it too on my story or whatever. Share it. I'll share it with everyone. So don't worry about that. I definitely will see it and love it. I love that shit. So like, be cool and send me that shit over on the gram. In the meantime, also want to mention that you can subscribe to this show on Patreon. Patreon is a great way. It supports me financially directly. The only middleman is Patreon, but they're pretty cool and with that stuff. But yeah, you can get the only tier right now we have is $5. It's ad-free episodes. Every month you just pay $5 and you get ad-free episodes of this show and
The Schweezy.
the main show too, where I interview people too. I'm gonna try to do two episodes a week. This show once, and then the Schweezy, on Wednesdays. Not sure because Schweezy always relies on other people, and so just kind of getting that going. The only big problem with the Schweezy is just getting the interview set up. Once you get that set up and recorded, everything else is smooth sailing, at least on my end from there. And so that's all I can say in regards to that. So you hit that. Go follow us on Patreon. Like, help us financially, because then you don't have to listen to like all my ads and all this, because we have been moving up on ads, and I'd like to just start doing ad-free episodes. Like, everyone's just like, you know what? You pay your fee a month and you get to listen to this show as much as you want. I'm working on other tiers. I just want to make sure that with each tier, you really get what you pay for. And so that's why I only have one tier right now. If I make a tier, it's going to be for a specific purpose, and you're going to get something back from it. And that's all. That's it. So go hit us up on Patreon. Why are you the way that you are? Why are you listening to this episode with ads like a plebeian? You have Netflix, you don't listen to ads on there. You have Amazon or whatever, you don't listen to ads on there. I have some things about Amazon I want to talk about. It might be a little bit. It's not going to come up. But no, hit us up on Patreon. That's going to be the best way to support this show, the Schweezy, support me directly for the most part. So yeah, go hit that up on Patreon. All right, let's get into the news. I do like figure out what I'm talking about. So if I go on tangents, that's because I actually do that in real life. So don't be that guy and be like, oh, you just go on random tangents and you have a formal script. Like, I'm not reading from a script. I have topics I talk about and then rant from there, and I go to other places. And I know I have the notes to get me back on track. So don't worry about that. We're in episode 2. We're going to be working out kinks for a while now, but thank you so much for listening. I don't want you to feel like you're listening to the shittiest show. That's the Schweezy. That one's the worst. This one's actually probably pretty worse than the Schweezy. All right, let's get into the news, the real news. That's why you have to unsubscribe from every other news source, because I'm giving you the truth, accuracy, and what really matters in this world.
And I really like that.
As my boy Garth would say. So let's get into the news. I'm going to make sound drops for these specific segments, so I'm just going to pick random ones from my soundboard. So let's get into the news.
Then I say let the conversation begin.
That's how every Schweezy begins. Okay. All right, so first thing I have on the agenda today, Donald Trump suggests McDonald's French fries are responsible for keeping his hair. So I saw this link a while ago, and we were all joking, like a friend sent this to me because we have a bald friend, and we think it's funny he's bald, and then I have a super full head of hair, and so like the joke was, I'm like, oh, that's the reason why I have a full head of hair and I'm fat. So that's a good reasoning. Real reason I'm fat is because my mom makes really good sweets, and I'm pretty sure that did not help anyone. But anyway, so we just joke around about that. Just like, hey, I'll hit you up on the first round. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know what drugs are actually in this. I probably should have put that in my notes, and I'm not going to research it right now. But anyways, no, Donald Trump is a big believer in this. That's why he believes his hair is not... His hair is still there. God damn, dude. He retweets the link to this article, which I've read before. Can't remember what the specific thing they put in there. McDonald's. So here's a good story. My mom, when we lived in Kansas, the principal, she's a kindergarten teacher, and now she teaches first grade. So same thing. When they were working there, the principal there said they put sugar in McDonald's French fries. And my mom believed him, and then my dad thought she was stupid. However, I actually kind of learned how, like, you know, the food industry works and like how McDonald's makes their French fries. So they do like, they soak them in water to get all the starch off, but sometimes you can add stuff to that water too, and it kind of like gets into the French fries to help them crystallize. And they actually do put sugar in, I think, beef broth, I want to say. I'm not going to check that, but let's assume it's true. And so I told my mom that, like, you know, it's actually true. And so it's not like putting legit like sugar on them. It's like they soak in like a sugar. It's like not basting, but letting something like, you know, when you let chicken brine, like, you know, that it's not really in the ingredients. Like it's not really in. You brine it in pickles like Chick-fil-A does. You brine it in pickles, but it's not actually like pickles. It doesn't taste like pickle a little bit, but you know, I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. But anyways, back on track. Trump retweets a link about McDonald's French fries and replies, "No wonder I didn't lose my hair." That's buddy, you've lost some hair. You've lost some hair. Like, we know you're faking it. That's the thing I don't get about him. Let's just take, you know, what he believes in to the side. His hair looks bad. He dresses poorly. He has a bad spray tan. Like, I used to think spray tans were pretty bad. Then you see, like, Kim Kardashian gets a spray tan, and, like, it looks pretty good. And so the one thing you have to, like, realize in regards to that, it's the idea of, and it's like the idea with plastic surgery as well. You only actually recognize the, you only notice the bad spray tans. You only notice the bad plastic surgeries. You don't really notice the good ones. And the idea that he has a bad spray tan it's not good. And you have the money to not have a bad spray tan. You have the money to not have a bad haircut too. Like, it's still decently in. You could get, like, you buy a hair transplant. Like, bro, people are going to make fun of, anyway, Elon Musk got a hair transplant. LeBron James has got a hair transplant. I don't think it's embarrassing, and you have to decide, do I want to be made fun of for my hair, or should I be bald or getting a hair transplant? Because I feel like if you're, at least with the hair transplant, you feel better about yourself in the end. Like, that's why I wonder about liposuction. Like, why don't we normalize that more? I don't know a lot about the science behind it. I do know gastric bypass surgery is, it's pretty good. And I actually do see some people, I'm like, I think you need gastric bypass surgery. Someone who has lost some weight but is still kind of fat. I don't, there's a lot of stuff out there. I don't know why we shame so much. You know, you're going to be made fun of. Like, if you want to get liposuction, like, you're either going to get made fun of for being fat or for getting liposuction. So which one makes you feel better? If, like, I was like, well, I got liposuction. Oh, you're just a lazy, no, blah, 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 blah. You didn't work out at Planet Fitness with me. It's like, you know, you're going to do that, or they're just going to make fun of you for being fat. So, like, just do what makes you happy. That's why I try to tell my friends this, and I try to constantly remind them. I don't do a good job at this, but I will say this. Like, look, man, if you like something, you should do it, because I'm going to make fun of you regardless for it. And you just got to deal with that. So just do what makes you feel good, what makes you feel comfortable. That's what I say. And so that's that's the thing, though. Like, why is Donald Trump looking bad on purpose? What is his end game? I don't, when you have money, like, I don't have a lot of money. I'll tell you that. I don't have a lot of money, but I know how to dress myself. I know how to dress myself. If I need to dress up really nice, I know what I need to do. Even just like basic, even just do it like a basic. I got text messages I need to look at real quick. Playing Fortnite later, so I gotta like keep up with the gang, you know what I'm saying? Dead ass. Woo! We up out of here. Yeah, boy. Okay, so let's get back on track. So, also, I wanted to know, like, he makes this claim that McDonald's French fries is the reason he didn't lose his hair. However, looking from his doctor, you know that guy, Dr. Harold N. Bornstein says that he does take Propecia. It's a hair growth drug. I think how Propecia works, from what I've been explained to it, is that, like, you take the pill and it prevents your hair from falling out. So that's, like, the main thing with Propecia. So the idea with it is that you want to, like, catch it early, and then if you catch it early enough, then you're going to be good, and like your hair's not going to fall out, and you have to consistently still take it. I know, like, a lot of people, heard a lot of people take it. I think Pete Davidson did a sketch about it on SNL. He's like, yeah, well, I learned I was losing my hair, so I started taking Propecia, and the big side effect with Propecia is it lowers your sex drive a lot. Now, some people, it's like, it just kind of depends on your libido, I guess. But like some people's like, I want to have sex 5 times a day. Then it goes down to I only have sex like 1 time a day, and like it works out. Which I guess Donald. I don't know what's going on with that guy, but I know when you're like fatter, it's like it's harder to like keep up with sex and stuff like that. I can tell you that. But he is. That is. I thought so. Yeah. So basically, that's it. So that's a weird thing with his sex drive too. With like Stormy Daniels and his 400 wives or whatever, and like Melania catching COVID. That was the weird thing. Like that means like they were in close contact and like maybe kissed or something like that. That's the weird thing about that. I thought that was the weirdest part about him getting COVID is that Melania got it too. But don't worry, it only affects fat people. But anyways, so I was thinking though, I thought like I read something a long time ago that Propecia makes you actually a little bit loopy, and I thought that was going to explain Donald's like just fucking weirdness. But no, I learned that was not it. I actually did some research for this show.
And I really like that.
And I guess what Garth would say. But yeah, I thought it would make you loopy. No, I think just the biggest thing is libido, and you have random other side effects with it too. But I mean, like I don't think we should shame him for taking Propecia, because I feel like it's like all that it does is like prevent your hair loss. Like if I was losing my hair, I'm getting on top of it very quickly. I'm also at a sense where like if I get diagnosed with cancer, there's a good chance I will not do chemo. Like honestly, it's like it's not worth it. You're still poisoning yourself, and I don't want to lose my hair. Honestly, I'm just gonna be like, well, this is it. I'm going out. Unless like the thing, like I don't know, just depends on the doctor's opinion. I think that's gonna be the real thing if I ever get cancer. But no, I'm not too keen on chemo in my life. So just figure shit out and get going from there. So Donald Trump being a fat guy, saying that's the reason he's not losing his hair. We got to admit, that's pretty funny. Because what was that book someone wrote about him? And then I remember at the Grammys, Cardi B commented, he actually lives like this? This is gross, or something like that. It was like funny. If you can find it, look it up. I'm not going to on this show because I can. And I won't. And that's all I have to say on that. I think that's all I have to say on the McDonald's French fries keeping Donald Trump's hair from falling out. It's the Propecia, people. Do not believe that. I'm not sure how much that actually works. And also, there's a lot more bad parts to eating a lot of French fries, from me, what I can tell you, than that. So, do not believe him when he says that's kept his hairline in. It's the Propecia that he does take, and that's what you need to believe. That's the cold, hard science that you're only gonna get on this show. And because I am
Schweezy,
and this is the type of guy you are getting. So, but speaking of fat people, we have to do it.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
That was the wrong sound out. We have to do it for, remembering all fat people out there.
hashtag pray for Micah.
And we all need to pray for Micah as much as possible every day. Every day, we need to piss God off with how much we are praying for Micah. And that's all I want to tell you at this moment is pray for Micah, because he definitely needs your prayer. Let's keep moving on. Okay. So this is another fun thing. It's not necessarily the news. It's but I did make a discovery in white people understanding black people the other day, which I feel like is important to all of us. So if you know my friend Decree, he is a singer-songwriter. He actually did release a new song same day as mine. I think I'm gonna look up what it's called real quick. I have my phone out here. David's his Christian name, FYI. If you don't know about that, your Christian name is the name you're born with. Your Schwoke name is the name that I call you, and the one in your stage name too. He wrote a song. what's it? He's called That Dude. Go check him out. It's really cool. He's cool, great guy. We co-write a lot together. And so we were just like talking about like, spam calls we get. And I was just like, and then we get like the ones like, hey, are you planning to vote? This is Dana with Move On or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, I get those too. And then he's like, no, mine are a little more specific. Mine are from like black people trying to like tell me, was like, yo, and like the text was, yo, what's good, man? It's Deron. You voting in the election for Joe Biden, stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, I didn't notice that it was like segregated between race. And then I looked at the ones I get and I'm like, Ralph. I'm like, that's a white guy. Like, it's definitely a white guy. Got one from a Rachel. So I'm pretty sure that whatever race you are getting that specific kind of text message telling you to vote. So make sure you vote. I do want to advocate for that, but unless you're voting for Trump, do not vote for Trump. Only vote for Joe Biden, because that's the only hope for America. Joe Biden surrounds himself with good people, and I believe those good people will be keeping America as get to a better place than it was before, and that's all I really care about. So make sure you vote in this upcoming election. That's all. I think that's all I want to say on that matter. Okay, next news topic I have. This one's kind of relevant to everything on the
Schweezy.
So here's the article I have. A woman was shot and killed while staging a kidnapping for a TikTok. This is from Insider Magazine website. It's gonna be wrong regardless. So, okay, let me take a look here. A young woman called Arlene Martinez was reportedly shot and killed when a TikTok went wrong. According to several news outlets, 20-year-old Martinez was staging a kidnapping with several friends when a gun was fired. Two of the men surrounding Martinez reportedly fled in the scene afterwards. The tragic accident happened in Chihuahua, Mexico? I hope I'm saying that right. Where police are investigating. You think like Chihuahua, Mexico is like Portland, Tennessee, or like Mexico, Missouri. It's kind of like one of those weird ass places they just were not. Let's just name it after the dog. Let's just keep doing that. And also when I read this like news article, I'm like, what the fuck did you just say right now? She was shot staging a kidnapping for TikTok? What? Who is the audience for this? Like, it's like, I want to watch this talk. My feed is specifically women getting kidnapped. Is this like a Mexican thing? It can't be that. That has to be a lane, like, she's 20 years old, so she most likely was either born in the year 2000 or maybe 1999. No, I don't like that at all. Oof, I don't like that. I do not like that at all. But yeah, who is the audience for? Like, who watches kidnapping? And then I guess the guy, I think the guy is just an idiot. Didn't put his gun. Okay, if you're gonna stage a kidnapping, why would you put actual like bullets in your gun? There's a lot of questions I have with what's going on here. I wish I could. I need to get a Ouija board, and I think if I get that Ouija board, I'm gonna talk to Arlene Martinez. I'm gonna like figure out how to get to her in the afterlife. I'm gonna ask her, what the fuck did you die from? And then we could just have a real life sit down conversation. Then
I say, let the conversation begin.
Because I want to know her reasoning behind this TikTok. I'm not on this land TikTok. Some of you know I'm a talker. I make my own, but I also curate a lot. And a lot of mine are just kind of funny and people being weird on the internet unknowingly. But I don't know who watches kidnap talks. I mean, I've seen Taken. That was not my favorite part of the movie. Favorite part of the movie was Liam Neeson just shooting everyone. with like very good accuracy. He's like, "Don't move or I'll shoot," and then he shoots the guy anyways. That was pretty cool in the first one. I saw the second one. I don't think I saw the third one. It's a weird movie to make multiple out of, but I guess that's what Hollywood's about, doing that. So, I mean, that's all I have to say. Do you have any other information on that? If you do, please email the schwegcast@gmail.com. I would like more information on that. And so when we do, please let me know. This episode of the Schwegcast is brought to you by Gamefly. Most of you are already aware of Gamefly, but for those of you who don't, it's the best video game rental subscription service for one low monthly fee. As a Twitch video game streamer myself, I know there are two types of game. One type is the game that you'll continue to go back to time and time again, like Breath of the Wild and Super Smash Brothers. And then there's those other games, that you only play once and then never pick up again. And that is where Gamefly is perfect. Most games come in at around $60, and these new AAA titles come in at $60. But with this link in the description of this episode, your first 2 months will only be $10. I'm a subscriber myself, and I played through Pokemon Sword, and I loved it so much that I wanted to keep that copy. And with just a click of a button, and you just pay the little extra money, you get to keep the game that you rented from Gamefly. You don't even have to worry about anything else, and they'll go ahead and send you to the next game. I'm excited for the month of October. I will be getting into Luigi's Mansion because that is a very spooky game, and that's Halloween, so it's the spooky season, which I am super excited to play that game. I already got it in the mail, and I'm excited for once October kind of rolls around, I can start playing that game, and it is super fun and awesome. I love Gamefly. Like I said, I'm a subscriber myself, but you can get your first 2 months for $10. You just got to use the link in the description of this episode, and you know what? Start playing those games. Okay, and our next subject, let's see here. Oh, this is just some thoughts I had, at least to start off with. I wrote down, I think it'd be cool to be pansexual, so I think on October 11th was coming out day, and it really made me think that being pansexual would be pretty cool. Obviously, I identify as a straight man, and I like women a lot. I think women are super cool, and I definitely fuck with them, literally. So this idea was like pansexual because the way the pansexual people I know and how they explained it to me, it wasn't more of a like there's a general who you're attracted to. It's like you're being tugged in an attraction to someone. I'm like, man, that's really cool. Because I get that way with women sometimes. I guess I'm probably not too far off as pansexual, but I just identify as straight. But like sometimes like someone's not like a smoke show 10 out of 10. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I'm really attracted to this person just from their personality.
I like that.
And I think it's a good thing idea. I guess we all look like that. It's just they're not worried about gender specifically, like they're trans or not. I don't think being pansexual. I think that's pretty cool. I just think that I think that's like the coolest because there's the form of attraction for them is interesting to me. I really like that form of attraction, and I think so. Also, another thing I kind of get, I'm on the Tinder, trying to meet women in a pandemic, and going slowly, getting lonelier and lonelier by the minute. Maybe hashtag pray for Schweezy. We need to get that going. But I kind of I'll match with some women that I do find attractive, but they identify as non-binary. Seems like they do have the vagina part. Now, that's the thing, though. If I'm attracted to them, but they're non-binary, and their genitals aren't a problem for me, what does that make me? Because I don't know. I don't consider. I still consider myself straight, but when you're straight, how does non-binary fit into that sexuality? It's like you could be attracted to someone who's non-binary, biologically has female genitalia. And see, that's the weird thing in the middle. Are you okay with being attracted to someone who's non-binary? I mean, I don't have like I said, I don't have a problem with it, obviously. We're schwoke on this show, so because I am
Schweezy.
And
this is the type of guy you get.
As Joe would say. And you also know I can be a
simp.
So, yeah. What do I go from here? If I meet someone I'm attracted to and they're into me, which that's probably more of a hard thing. They identify as non-binary, but I'm still attracted to them. and they have a vagina. What is that? Where do I go from? What is the idea we go from there? Because there's a lot of things I could do. Obviously, I don't know. Maybe sometimes, maybe I haven't never dated anyone who's non-binary. So like the idea of like, oh, this is shosh, they, them, we're fucking. Like, I don't know. And then maybe I'd get annoyed. I'm like, I wish you were a female. And then we'd break up and I'd write some songs about her, him, them. Sorry, almost went there. I think I may need to stay away from non-binary women. I'm just kind of thinking out loud at this point. I may need to just kind of avoid that part of my life. Okay, well, let's move on. I'm rooting myself way too much here. So I can't confirm this. This was just a random thought I had the other day, but I'm pretty sure that kid who fell into Harambe's habitat gorilla pit was the same person who ate the bat in Wuhan. I cannot confirm that, but I feel like if I say it enough times, we'll all believe it. So let's all spread that rumor and get that going, because I want that rumor to be true. So, you know what it is. Yeah, I don't have to make the sound. I can actually do that. I love the soundboard. I need to bring this over to the O show. Okay, next topic. Last night, I got drunk and watched Charlotte's Web, which that's a sentence. And I decided today, as I decided, I'm like, I cut out a section. I'm going to go out to that next week. But I decided I need to do a review of this movie because I feel like everyone wanted to hear that. And no one asked for it, so it's coming. So let's go here. I think Wilbur is a bitch. Because he overreacts to everything and he passes out with any slight inconvenience in his life. And he didn't pass out when they were like, oh, you're going to die. He just started crying, which to his own, I guess. And I think he's a bitch. His personality is a bitch, and he is a bitch. And that's all I'm going to say. Also, another problem I have with this movie is they make the whole point, oh, yeah, that's a great pig. Wilbur is the best pig that's ever existed in all of humankind, only because a spider made a spider web with a word like pig and humble, that shit like that. Why? Why are they celebrating the pig? That's what I don't get. Wouldn't be like, damn, that spider's cool as fuck. Let's keep that spider around. And then also, most time when you see a spider, you just kill it or ignore it. I guess they really ignored that spider, and then accepted it. So I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad it's named Charlotte's Web, because I think Charlotte should be the main purpose of that story, not Wilbur, because Wilbur, like I said, is a bitch. But why were they celebrating Wilbur when Charlotte was making the webs? I don't get it. I don't get why are we glorifying Wilbur? He didn't do anything except be a bitch the whole movie. Fern, the chick, that was weird. That's a weird story. First of all, Wilbur fuck Wilbur's siblings. First of all, you know all of them are dead. But Wilbur got to live. Fern, they sold Wilbur off to Fern's uncle, and she was so sad about it, and no, I'm never gonna see Wilbur again. But also it's her uncle, so they don't live far from each other, so she goes visits him all the time. And then another part with that, why is do the animals talk to Fern? Fern knows all their names. The only thing I would say is, he was oh yeah, that's Charlotte. That's Charlotte's Web. I'm you're speaking to the spider? We obviously know Wilbur's name is Wilbur because she named him Wilbur. But then, he talks to the spider, and then, oh, that's Templeton. He's kind of a dick rat. And then, there's the goose person and the sheep. They're the sheep. I don't know. There's a lot going on in that movie. I don't think I can... I can explain. There's a lot of plot holes in Charlotte's Web that I don't want to do. I need to say I watched the cartoon Charlotte's Web. I did not watch any other Charlotte's Web. I wanted to watch the original cartoon because I said I could. And there's a sequel to it, and I'm up in the air if I want to watch that sequel. It's on Amazon Instant and Chill. Maybe you have that lady over in your life. But yeah, that's fine. Like the Fern's storyline, then like Wilbur started bitching because she got interested in a boy. He's like, "Yeah, my uncle stepped on my violin. I don't play it anymore." And we're all like, "Thank God," because no one cared at all. But I don't know, Fern. I feel like if she was an adult right now, she'd be a ride or die, and I'm all for that shit. Because she wanted Wilbur to stay alive, and she decided to keep it that way. I want to talk about the rat Templeton. Now, that rat was a gay rat. That rat was gay. That rat. There's no situation in the world where that rat was straight. This is a controversial topic. If you want to leave the podcast now, you can, over my opinion on a cartoon rat being gay, but that rat is gay. And then Hollywood in the 1970s decided that that rat needed to have a wife and children. No reasoning why that rat had a wife and children, but Templeton, that rat, if I could remake Charlotte's Web, first of all, I would edit a lot of the story where I feel like Charlotte we'd kill Wilbur and let Charlotte be like the queen. But Templeton is a gay rat. Templeton is gay. Templeton's gay. He does not have kids. That's not the storyline that Templeton won. But I did like the ending where it was like, Wilbur adored Charlotte's children and grandchildren, but he never quite loved them as much as Charlotte. And I'm like, yeah, fuck your kids. Doing it out of courtesy. But I don't know. That's what I think. Should I watch the sequel? Email me, theshredcast@gmail.com. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah, let's get my opinions on that. Let's see. Yeah, we could do... No ad break. Okay, next up, we have a Garth Brooks update.
And let's get physical playing music. I like that thought.
All right, so we got some big bombshell news on our boy Garth here today, and
I like that.
But not more importantly,
and I really like that.
And I think every day as I Google Garth Brooks, like I can't possibly fill every week with Garth Brooks news, but so far we're doing pretty good. He did a interview with Billboard magazine. I read it online, but I think it's technically a magazine still. Garth did an interview. Let me just read my notes here. From an interview with Billboard magazine, Garth Brooks hints that we haven't seen the last of his alter ego Chris Gaines. Now, this was a big interview. I sifted through all the good stuff for you, so you don't have to. But yeah, let's go with the Chris Gaines. So for some ketchup and mustard, or more importantly, ketchup on Chris Gaines and Garth Brooks. In the year 1999, Garth introduced the world to Chris Gaines, a completely fictional character created by Garth himself. Chris Gaines was supposed to be the subject of the movie The Lamb. And before they released the Chris Gaines Greatest Hits album, The Lamb was never made, but they did a VH1 Behind the Music episode with him. So yeah, they did like a Greatest Hits. I do have it up here. I was supposed to grab it for this episode, and I did not. But it's up there, and I'm not going to edit myself standing up and getting it, because I don't have to. So that's kind of like who Chris Gaines was. It was like he was intended for Garth to make this movie, and he was going to play the main character.
I like that.
And he wrote all this music, and a lot of them, like, apparently, there's a lot of things going on. So they released the Greatest Hits album to kind of, like, start you off to understand who this character was. I guess the album didn't hit as hard as they wanted to. They did do a VH1 Behind the Music. I have watched. It is really good. If you can find it online, you can find it online. Go watch it. It's very interesting, like, this idea who Chris Gaines. It's like the stereotypical rock star. There's like these rock star ideas. I think the movie could have been pretty good, but I guess they canned it because the reception towards the Greatest Hit album was not what they lived up to be. So not very cool, not very cash money of them. But I would have loved that. I actually really like the album. I do think it is Garth Brooks' best album, as Trisha Yearwood would say. And I just like, I don't know, something nasally. But no, I think it's great. It's a great album. So if you have a chance to listen to it, someone sent me the CD. I don't think anyone else is gonna be as lucky, but you could be if you wanted to. That's all up to you. It's up to you, bud. Let's see. What Garth actually says in this interview, from the interview with Billboard, he says, "Trust me, it's got a whole life of its own, and it's all coming. It won't be anything predictable, I can guarantee you, because that's kind of the character's thought process was." I'm already into this because Garth is weird, and if he does anything he does, I want to keep up with. This is what Garth is all about, being weird. Being weird on the internet. I'm not having allergies. I don't know what's going on. I think I got I don't know what's going on with me. Okay, also Garth stated, if you know the greatest hits, they had to come from somewhere, if that tells you what's coming. I mean, there's a good chance, because he had that big old break, like 14-year break, maybe 14, 15-year break. Like, there's a good chance he was writing music. Like, he obviously didn't have to work. He was just doing projects for myself. Well, some people think he was murdering people. It could be possible. I'm not going to confirm or deny anything. But no, I think I'm really excited if he keeps doing Chris Gaines stuff. I am definitely on board for all that shit, and I'm going to keep going with it for the rest of my life. Also, Garth confirmed that he will not be running for president, and I'm going to start doing Garth impressions. He said, "Trust me, no one would know which way to go with me because I am so both. I really am. Let's love one another, but don't forget we're the defenders of freedom all around the world. So let's beef up. People don't think you can do both, and that's right down my alley. That's why you can have We Shall Be Free and American Honky Tonk Bar Association at the same concert. Let's love one another, and let's pull our own weight."
I like that.
I feel like that's like that. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. And I'm glad he won't run for president, because we just need actual people who know what they're doing as president. That's my big thoughts. Big thoughts. THOTS. The big thoughts. So I just changed that definition.
And I really like that.
All right. Garth also admitted he's pro-LGBT, which I am all for. I think it's really cool, and especially country music, which is very, it's very Southern, I would say. I'm doing the generalization, which isn't always accurate to everyone, so don't piss your pants. But, it's a lot Southern conservative. Obviously conservatives think that LGBT people shouldn't have basic human rights, but at the same time, I think it's cool Garth is standing up for that. I remember I watched the Taylor Swift's documentary, Miss Americana, and, she was, it was a controversial, apparently for her, to speak up against Marsha Blackburn back in Tennessee, where I live, that we shouldn't try to nominate her, but it ended up happening, and she's the worst. I need that sound drop from Parks and Rec. I need the worst. So that is on my list for next time. Going back to more Garth updates. When talking about the pandemic hitting a third of the way through the big ass stadium tour, as you would say, he says, "All right, impression time. This blessing is a curse, is my love." He starts tearing up because he cries after talking about anything. Forgetting to play music goes so beyond anything that's got to do with making money. You kind of need to find that out, because in this business, they overpay you. I miss it so badly. I miss the people. I miss the band and the crew. But I miss what happens when the people and the band and the crew all get together. The 2 beautiful hours. It feels like 3 minutes. It's just fabulous. So that doesn't have really any importance to me. I just think it's funny every time Garth cries, because The Road I'm On documentary on Netflix, he was crying through the whole thing over the stupidest shit. And I mean, that's somewhat justified to be sad, but to start crying, man, I don't know what to say. I don't know. Garth is still weird. I still love him for that, and I just wanted to give you all an update on that. This episode of the Schwegcast is brought to you by FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. They also have a fantastic clothing line so you can look good while you work out as well, which I always like to look good working out. Hashtag pray for Micah. We all know the drill. With your purchase of any product from the FNX Fitness website, they even donate a gallon of water to a child in need, so you know that each purchase you make really is helping someone out. Using promo code SCHWEGCAST or link in the description of this episode, you can save 15% off your order. Again, that is promo code SCHWEGCAST or link in the description down below. Save 15% on some great performance supplements. Time for me to start talking some real shit. Sean Feucht is a piece of shit. So let me just start in here from the Tennessean, a pretty good article from Nashville. Christian worship leader Sean Feucht, and I had to learn that from someone who works in Christian radio, hosted a worship protest that drew thousands of people who appeared to be largely maskless to the courthouse grounds in Nashville on Sunday night. The piece of shit even, I love my notes. The piece of shit even posted on his socials. A police officer escorting me out tonight said he estimated 9,000 to 10,000 worshipers filled the courthouse steps in downtown Nashville. We had 3 venue changes and so much resistance, but the church will not be silenced. God, what a piece of shit. You realize after three venue changes, like, just stop. We don't want you in our city. God, fuck you. And if some of you don't know who this piece of shit is, I didn't know who he was. I don't keep up with Christian music, which I will get into in a bit. From Wikipedia, the best news source for cancel Schweezy.
I like that.
From Wikipedia, Sean Feucht is an American politician, activist, Christian singer, songwriter, and worship pastor at Bethel Church. Fuck off. In Redding, California. He ran as a Republican in California's 3rd Congressional District and lost.
What you got to get fucked up?
I need more specific sound bites. I know. I realized that. Okay. The reasoning behind these protests is to protest government restrictions on religious gatherings during a goddamn pandemic. God damn it, dude. Like, it's like when people get mad about things, like, I'm gonna be happy that I'm straight. I'm like, you're always able to do that. I saw like the Rick and Morty meme. Like, God, dude, like, for real, it's a pandemic. It's not, you're not being persecuted for your beliefs. I grew up Christian. I would say I was an active member in a church until, I want to say 23. And I can say that living in America, you will never be persecuted for your beliefs. I remember working at a church camp. And I was working there, and, like, kids were always talking about, like, you know, like, you're worried, like, kids in school will not like you for your beliefs and everything like that. And so, you know, I was, like, listening to the kids talk for a bit. And I chimed in with the, haven't you people ever heard of? Not like that, but because Grimsby was not a whore in that church camp. I would tell them that, look, the persecution you think you receive in America is not real persecution. You're not gonna have to die on this. I think, and a lot of things that keep me into an entire, like, spiritual idea of Christianity is the idea that, like, all of the disciples of Jesus, I'd say most of them, I'm not gonna go and I'll listen who and who, they were martyrs and they died for their belief in Jesus, like, and like who he was as a person. And that makes me think, that just, like, strangely makes me think, I know that could be, you could consider that a cult, you can consider that so many things, but this idea of, like, the real Jesus was not, like, a negative figure. Like, you can even go to atheists and you just, like, hey, we're gonna go bare bones this idea of Jesus. What do you think? They're like, Jesus, like, the idea of Jesus is good. The idea of Jesus is good, and these people died for Jesus. Like, you could debate anything in regards to that and anything slightly different, your beliefs, your difference, but the idea of, like, Jesus is a good person is great. And I think, me leaving church was a good thing. I guess on paper, I'm technically spiritual, not religious, and then slang term, I'm an ex-evangelical, where I grew up evangelical, and then I decided to leave that shit because that shit sucks. And so, so that's where I am. And when I think about like these people acting like they're, people like act like they're under attack for a minor inconvenience, like you have to wear a mask at Kroger. Really? Like, that's an inconvenience. I know, like I said, I think masks suck. I hate wearing masks. Makes my skin break out. I don't like it. If you get like a cloth one or reusable one, they just suck to sit in for long periods of time. Like, my breath is too hot, and, when it was hot outside, like, it just sucked being outside with a mask on. But now that, I still wear a mask because I feel like a mask is important to not spreading anything I have to other people, which if I don't know I have COVID right now, if I don't spread to someone else, it's a good thing. It is very good. And so, like, this idea of, like, you're being persecuted for wanting to worship God, you're not being persecuted for wanting to worship God. We're just being told that you don't need to be in a large gathering right now. Like, I don't think God has a concern about that. God doesn't give a shit about that. He does not give a shit about that. And this idea that you think that you're being persecuted, you're not being persecuted, Sean Foyt. You just want to play shows. You don't call it worship. I played in worship bands. I grew up playing in worship bands because I really wanted to play music. I didn't have a lot of friends. So at the idea of, like, if I could play music, maybe people will like me. It's a whole thing for a therapist to one day have to deal with. But no, anyone who says, controversial topic, anyone who says they're worshiping God when they're playing music and it's not performing, it's worshiping. No, you're fucking performing. You're wanting to get an audience reaction, and you're using God's name in vain to do that, which is one of the 10 commandments that Jesus really said, being do not use the Lord's name in vain. And it's not just saying, oh my God, it's using God as the ability to do shitty things to people, like Hitler saying it's a Christian thing to kill the Jews. Like, that is using God's name in vain, because God would never do that. That idea of that, you're using God's name in vain, and it fucking pisses me off. And that's why I don't go to church anymore. That's why I leave evangelical stuff, and I definitely would never play music in a church ever again, unless, okay, maybe if I got paid. I could swallow my pride for a bit. Maybe. No, I should. Okay, this is me thinking out loud. Maybe I shouldn't play church gigs ever. My thing, which I would never. Okay, here's the compromise I'll make for myself. Just this is me thinking out loud. I will not play for a church. I will only play for a church if they're paying me and they're pro-LGBT. That's a big factor for me. You have to be pro-LGBT, or I'm not going to give a fuck about your church. That's that. I don't qualify you as a big church. I learned my parents are big Christians, obviously, because that's how I grew up. And I learned they like Andy Stanley a lot, that guy, and he's pro-LGBT. I'm like, good. I don't have to like tell my parents to stop listening to his bullshit or whatever like he has to say. So I'm really happy that he's cool. He's a cool guy. I think I remember him posting something. Yeah, the idea of "for the Bible tells me so" is like dangerous rhetoric because. Hate to break it to you, the Bible was not written by God. It was written by man. And you should not be treating it like God wrote this directly and taking everything like that. You have to take the Bible with a grain of salt. You have to take, and then Jesus told parables. You have to realize maybe some of the stuff in the Bible is parables, like Adam and Eve. There's a good chance that, a talking snake didn't convince a woman to eat an apple and then convinced a man to eat the apple. Because if I was that man and she was hot, I'd eat the apple. I mean, I'm telling you this right now. Someone who got convinced to watch Children because of a beautiful woman. Yeah, got to take this shit word for word. I don't know. So just, the Bible isn't written by God. It's written by man. And don't be a fucking idiot when you read that. And you are definitely not being persecuted for your beliefs, because you can't go to church and stand close to someone and sing Sean Foyt songs. I don't know. These, like I'm saying, these Christian artists, and I obviously have to say not all Christian artists, but I'm going to say a majority of them are using God as a walk to fame. And I learned that pretty early on. Maybe I was like 16, 17 when I figured that out. And I remember one time, I want to say this, they did like these like see you at the pole things, and then like later that day they'd do a concert. And I played in a Christian rock band. We didn't do worship music. I just kind of wrote what I wanted to, girls, and then some religious things and stuff like that. Songs, I don't like the songs anymore. I'll tell you that. But anyways, like they booked us for the gig, and then eventually learned that we don't do worship music, and they kicked us off because we don't do worship music. Like, we're still a Christian band. Like, this is not. They don't have to worship like music, but like they kick us off because we don't do that. And, like, only worship bands are allowed to play at this show. I don't know. That pissed me off from a lot of things, and that's why I don't make worship albums. I'm glad there was a gut reaction for me. I almost became a worship pastor for a moment. And I'm glad I didn't. And I'm really proud of that decision to not do it. Now I'm just like looking about that. The church I wanted to apply to be a pastor to, the way it was, no longer exists. And now I'm making music where I say cuss words in the songs. And that's the way I want to do. So fuck Christian artists. They are doing it for fame, not for God. And you fucking know it, Sean Foyt. And fuck you. Okay, a couple things here. Haley Williams from the band Paramore, and also the girl I crushed on most of in high school, said this, and I think this is really important, so as we get schwoke here. White Christians living in America are not even close to who Jesus referred to when he spoke about persecution. What happened to, we just have to listen to our leaders right out the door as soon as there's a conflict with the church's interests. Where is this energy for the black brothers and sisters who are being gunned down in the streets by ill-equipped and unaccountable police? Fucking, dude, fuck police. I don't even care if you're a good cop, you're a bad cop, if you're a cop. Where is the energy for the babies being separated from the border? Where is your rallying cry when your neighbors actually need help? When we should all take inventory of our spiritual priorities, maybe we should finally admit we do know the difference between privilege and persecution. So, also fuck cops. Fuck every cop that has ever existed in anything ever. Because fuck you. A good cop is a bad cop. There's no good cops. All cops are bastards. And that is a proven statement time and time again. And I think the good cops get fired because they are good cops. So, you know what the fuck's going on. I don't give a fuck. Oh, my dad's a cop. Your dad's a fucking bitch. Plain and simple, fuck you and your dad. And I hope your dad burns in hell. All right, I've been drinking. We all know I've been drinking. Aaron Gillespie, he's from the band Under Oath, the drummer. I absolutely look up to this man as a musician and just kind of his spiritual beliefs because I feel like we were both in the same place at the same time. He says this about it. Venues are closing, musicians touring, personnel, agents, bus and van rental companies all going out of business and going bankrupt or having to find other ways to keep heads above water. And this is happening in the name of God. I'm hurt and I'm furious. Also, this is a town filled with musicians out of work. For real. This is the town I live in. I'm doing podcasting to make a living. I mean, I'm just happy about that as much as I can, but like I released a new song and I can't even like tour. I can't play shows. I can't do any of that. And this piece of shit's like playing shows at that time. Fuck this guy. There's a picture of him. I'm gonna eventually, I'll pull it up here, that he like wanted to put his arm around Trump. He's a piece of shit. If you like Trump, you're a piece of shit. I don't care. Yeah, if you're listening to the show and I call you a piece of shit, you're a cop, you support Trump, you're a Sean Foyt fan or whatever it is. I actually have been trying to like censor, like kind of move my parents into like artists I know are good. I have a friend who works in Christian radio. I'll leave him nameless for right now. And he'll tell me like really good artists and like artists like you should be taking care of. Like Lauren Daigle, perfect. I think when I say fuck worship artists, not Lauren Daigle, Mark Martell. Mark does really good music, but also he did like all the vocals for Freddie Mercury that they didn't already have pre-recorded in the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. Mark Martell is really good. There's a bunch more. I'm not saying all Christian artists are bad. I'm just saying if you're trying to be like a worship artist to get your songs played in church and stuff like that, if this is your belief and you're writing songs about that, do it. I fully support it. But people who try to make money off of like trying to use God's name in vain, fuck you. Fuck everything about you. And please burn in hell. This episode of the Schwegcast is brought to you by Duke Cannon Supply Company's Beer and Bourbon Box. Duke Cannon hails from a simpler time, a time when the term handyman was redundant, a time when chivalry wasn't considered old-fashioned. Duke Cannon's purpose is simple, to make superior quality grooming goods that meet the high standards of hard-working men. In the history of great duos, the partnership of beer and bourbon is even more important to our way of life than mac and cheese or, if you're British, fish and chips. Comes complete with 3 big beer soaps, a deliciously scented sandalwood soap made with Old Milwaukee beer, a fresh citrus woodsy offering made with the Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA, and a warm cedar scent made with Budweiser, and 1 big American bourbon soap. And a rich oak barrel scented bar made with Buffalo Trace bourbon. A perfect gift for the gentleman who appreciates a fine drink and a distinguished fragrance. Use the link in our description to get free shipping on your order over $20. All right, time for me to give advice to people. All right, so my advice is not good advice. It is just advice. And take it at your own risk. That's all I have to say. All right. First question I got. How to be honest with a girl about how much you play Fortnite. Don't be honest at all. You don't have to be honest about something like that. That's not a deal breaker in any relationship. You want to hide that shit for as long as you can. Make sure she is stuck with you. And you want to keep her. Make sure she's ride or die before you let her know that. So lying is the best thing you can do in this type of situation. Lying is okay in relationships as long as it's not betraying to the other person. All right, next question. My girlfriend just told me she's asexual. Ooh, here we go. I'm going to get controversial on this. So, me and my girlfriend have been together for about 4 years now. Everything was going pretty amazing in our first year together. We got along really well. We were crazy about each other, and our sex life was pretty active too. Then around the middle of our second year together, she started putting off sex, saying she wasn't feeling well or didn't feel up to it. This kept on going into our third year, and now with our fourth year, it'll be almost 2 years that we haven't had sex. God damn, dude. Today she told me she's asexual. God, 2 years later? Okay. She has no interest in discussing anything remotely sexual, but says that she loves me and wants this to not come between us. She even told me that she's fine with me having sex with other people as long as it's not serious and that I should love only her. At the same time, my girlfriend gets super jealous when my best friend, who is a woman and married, texts me and sends affection my way for something like my birthday or a promotion. So I'm quite skeptical about this. For me, sex, love, and attraction are synonymous. I can't do the whole open relationship thing, but at the same time, I know I have needs that my girlfriend is not going to be able to fulfill. Do I just go celibate? That's what I've been doing all this time, but I'm not sure if that's a sacrifice I have to make. Also, for clarity, I still love my girlfriend and still get along really well, and before this, I could totally see myself spending my whole life with her. Now I'm extremely confused. Could use a little advice and guidance on this. All right. The opinion that no one wanted, which is my opinion. Okay. I have a lot of strong opinions on asexuality, but I want to say in your situation, either the point of a girlfriend is a best friend and also someone you have sex with. You can argue with me, there's like differences and like, oh, it's a partnership, we gotta work together and like, be a team. But at the end of the day, it's a best friend that you have sex with. at the same time. And also, I love Micah. We all know Micah.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
And I love him. Like, I love him with everything I am. And I will always support him no matter how much I actually do hate him. But at the same time, I don't want to have sex with Micah. That's the last person I want to have sex with. And when I think about like a spouse, it's a best friend that I want to also have sex with. That's like the kind of person you do. Where it's like we have sex and then we have to like talk about bills and bullshit. That's like the person you want for that. And like this situation you're in, also, you can have sex and it not mean anything. I'm single, so I can say that's true. But if you're emotionally with someone like that, like it's you can't do that. That's impossible. So I have a lot of feelings about this, and I really did want to talk about this on the show. If you're asexual, if you're listening to this and you're asexual and haven't been offended yet, you really have to take relationships you got to be self-aware. You have to be self-aware in all your relationships, because if you don't like sex and you want someone to like be your ride or die, it's not going to work out. Like it's not going to work out. Like the big idea is, hey, I don't like sex, but I'm going to do this for my partner at the same time. Like they like sex. I don't, but there's like an emotional connection between us. And this is something I can give to my partner that they may like. You need to be putting out. Like if you're asexual and you're going to be like that in a relationship, you need to put out. If it's not, you're emotionally abusive in this relationship. At 2 years celibate, I'm thinking about this, like 2 years celibate. I know there's a lot of married couples out there who haven't had sex in years, and they're kind of staying together because like divorce sounds a lot worse than that. But so I don't know. For me, sex is a very important thing in my life. And honestly, like I say, and I have music coming out saying this. I mean, having sex with just a random person is cool. But when you actually like them, I say fairy tale lovers in regards to this situation. When you actually like the person you're having sex with and like want to be with them and you actually care for them, it's a lot better. It's a lot better. And you can just kind of force yourself into it. But at the same time, so I'm thinking about the other person in this situation who's not writing this article or this message. If you love this person, you truly love this person, you got to put out, if you have to extra lube up because you're not turned on and don't like sex, you're going to have to do it for a partner. Because that's one thing I don't get about women, and I'm just going to cancel myself here. It's like women, like, obviously, you got to get wet to go down on them, but like also lube exists, so like that's the thing. But like when you're a guy and you're asexual and like you just can't get a boner, that's a little bit harder. That's a little bit more difficult. So that's what I guess with women. I don't know. I think a lot of asexual people are just like pretty toxic because like they're in relationships and they're using people and they're not getting their needs. The other person's not getting their needs met, but you're getting your needs met. It's just kind of a bitchy situation, and I want to say fuck you to all those people. But I think you can have a general relationship with someone who's asexual. I just think if someone else wants to have sex with you and you don't have sex with them, you got to find a common ground there. Like, she needs to put out or you need to just walk away, because at that point, you're just friends. Like, you're just close friends. I have female friends. I like my female friends. Some of them I would have sex with. Some of them I'm not going to have sex with, but... So no, this is the way it is. Like, things aren't. Life isn't easy. I think if she doesn't feel willing to put out and will never put out with you, you need to break up and just, you know what? This is gonna be hard. We're gonna have to like work on this. You just need to stay friends. That's all I will say in regards to that. And I can't wait for the asexual community to come after me on this episode. All right, I'll go on to the next question. Being the only single person in your friend group, anyone else in the same situation? I think I hit the age where all my friends, girls, okay, so she's a woman, have found their partners and started to move in with them and getting engaged and so on. I am literally the only one without anyone, and I am happy to be single and don't even want to date yet. But the fact that no one has time for me anymore feels like I don't even exist now. And the rare times I get to see my friends nowadays, it's always that their partners are with us. I would be happy to be just with the girls. Yes, I told them about this and they started to assume that I am jealous and telling me that I need to download Tinder. I'm 25. I used to feel young, but now I feel old, desperate, and lonely. First off, you're not old, desperate, and lonely. I'm going to make a random guess that you're from the Midwest. In the Midwest, if you're not married by 20, my mom got married, I think at like 22, and they called her an old maid. Yes. An old maid. Like, that's 22. I'm 27. I'm single. I'm just, ready for COVID to be over so I can make out with strangers in bars. You're young. I mean, I don't see myself getting married till I'm my third. Even if I started dating someone right now and like my soulmate, we're not getting married for a long time. Unless, for me, marriage is, I'm pretty apathetic towards. It's more or less what my partner wants. And this, so if I meet a partner who's like, I don't want to get married, I just want to, I want to commit to you, ride or die, the rest of my life. And you know what?
And I really like that.
So I don't want to do marriage. I'm not into that. I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. Let's move in together. Let's be that. But if she's like, if I know this person, my soulmate, she's like, I want to be married. And I'll be like, done deal. I'll propose, I'll engage, we'll set up a wedding. I'm down for that. I'm down for either one. At this point, it's what she wants because I always want to make the partner happy. Which is something I should be talking with a therapist about because I always want to make other people like me. That being said, I understand your situation. I would say majority of my friends, only have a handful who are still single. We're not in committed relationships, but I think it's okay to realize that you don't want to be married at the moment. But at the same time, my male friends, they're perfectly fine with hanging out with me without their spouse. I realize that there's a good chance a lot of those situations I'm going to be with their spouse, but at the same time, sometimes we just want to be guys, and so their wife's like, you know what, I'm gonna leave. I had a friend, his name is Ginger Balls, and him and his wife, Ginger Lady, which I'll call them, they came into Nashville. We went to see Mumford and Sons, fun concert. The next day, they just stayed for the weekend because obviously it's fun, and I was like, is Ginger Lady coming too? And she was like, yeah, she said she wanted to. So I'm like, I'm fine with that, yeah. And went to a bar that night. I hit on some women, went home, hung out with them because I'm a ride or die friend. But anyways, the next day, we hung out, and then she was like, you know what, I'm going to go to our hotel and take a nap. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to hang out. So, it's a good give or take. You got to hang out with your friends. There's a good balance of that with your spouse. You have to accept their spouse, but at the same time, you have to realize that, they're going to be a part of your life now. Same time, that you shouldn't always expect that they have to be with their spouse 24/7. That's weird. I mean, Cricket, Josh, he'll be on the Schwedcast soon. He's coming back. He told me, he waits until his kids go to bed because he doesn't leave his wife to have to deal with their kids falling asleep alone. So once they both knock their kids out, then he comes out to play and have fun. So with that, I don't think it's unnecessary. You're not wrong in the fact that your married friends should be able to be like, hey, I'm going to hang out with you without my spouse. You're right there. And you shouldn't feel bad about thinking you're 25 and an old maid. Because unless you're living in the Midwest, you're not. In real cities, you're perfectly fine. I know a lot of people who get married in their 30s. And they're better now because they're smarter fucking human beings and don't have dry spells or, they have sex still and they have fun. Yeah, I guess when they have little kids, their sex is... Apparently when you have kids, your sex just goes down. And then, once they get older, they go back up a lot. So, all right. That's all my question for you. Your friends are stupid for making you feel that way. And you were perfectly fine. You're a fine human being. Next question. I get emotionally attached way too easily when dating. Oh boy, this one's going to hit close to home. Hey, so I've been talking to this girl for 2 weeks and we've met 3 times so far. She lost interest in me today and I'm miserable. I don't think it's normal to feel this way over someone I've only met thrice. How can I help myself towards no longer taking this kind of stuff this badly when it happens? It isn't even the first time. Every girl I've ever spoken to lost interest around this time. Oh boy, man. goddamn, man, this one's hitting close to home, so I'm gonna be, more honest than I usually am. Dude, I have to tell you, just realize, just stopping. This is gonna be this is a very hard thing for me to say. It's gonna be a very hard thing for you to accept, and I really hope you just take this to heart. And I have to do this too, so I'm in the same boat you are. Deny yourself from being attached to anyone. Like you can't be attached to anyone. You can't be like, you can't like anyone. You want to. I want to. I was raised on TV. I was raised on romantic comedies. I was raised on that shit. I can tell you immediately, you just cannot be emotionally connected to anyone anymore. Like you just can't. It's a fucking sad part of life, and you just kind of have to deal with it. Life sucks, and bad shit happens, and this is the kind of bad shit that happens to you, and life doesn't work out. No one told you life was going to be this way. And yeah, man, there's no easy way to tell you this. I've realized, right now my dating is Tinder, and just idea of I hope I'm the only person this person thinks of and wants to talk to, and I hope I can be this person's only soulmate in life. I want that so badly, and I want someone to see me, better than I see myself. But at the same time, I can't. I realize no, I've been hurt so many times. I can't do that. The only thing I can tell you, dude, is to keep your guards up high, because women say they think men should cry. They do not want men to cry. They don't want men to be emotional. They don't want men to show feelings. And I sound like an incel, but remember, I'm a simp. So take that fucking out of the comments right now. Yeah, you just can't have feelings towards people anymore. You gotta wait. You kind of have to wait for them to have feelings towards you, or you should allow yourself to have feelings towards them. All I can say, because you can't. You have to let women decide what they want to be with you before you decide. Because I guess we're the nice guys or the simp. So I feel it. I'm entirely with you on this, but we have to just kind of stay strong and can't allow women to actually. You push hey, do you want to be in a relationship? And then you have to keep your guards high up. Do not put your guards down ever for women, because most likely because we're in the internet culture. You go on Amazon, you look for the best deal, and you want to get the best deal. That's how dating has turned into. You don't just buy what the best thing you can find at that very moment is, and it kind of sucks. But I'll eventually die. Probably alcohol poisoning, hopefully, but let's see how soon that gets. But yeah, that's the best thing I can tell you. Just keep your guards up. Do not get emotionally attached. Just force yourself. I'm not falling in love with you. And I feel you. I wish I could. I wish I had the solution to that problem. That's the best thing I can tell you how I'm coping with life right now, and I'm doing better than I usually am. So that's the best thing I can tell you in regards to your love life. Next question. Looks like this is the final question. So, how to avoid awkwardness after getting rejected? All right. I am friends with this girl who I really want to ask out. Trouble is, she told me she's open to the idea of dating, but not super into it, which means I have a pretty high chance of rejection. I'm honestly fine with this. I figured it can't hurt to ask, and if she says no, I'll still have a friend. I just want to make sure that's actually true. I'd like to ask her out, but I don't want things to be awkward when I'm likely rejected. I don't want to lose a friendship over it. I was planning on basically acting the same before and after the rejection as a friend. If she wants to date, great. If not, that's fine. I still have a friend. Is that the right approach? So, you're in a friendly situation. I've been in this situation before. I have friends I wanted to date, but they said no. So, just be honest with them. I think the big solution for you is to be honest with them. This idea, you're good friends, you'd like to date, but would still be fine with being friends if she doesn't want to date. So that idea, you just have to kind of be honest in that situation. You have to say, look, I like you a lot, and I think we could work out. You could be my ride or die, but also do not want to ruin this friendship. At the same time, the best thing to say is, do you want to try to go? I'm assuming you're asking her on a date. Maybe, I don't know how old you are. I remember I said going out when I was a kid. But you could be older than that. I don't know. I don't know the lexicon of the kids these days. You could be a Gen Z. That's also queens above 18, some of you would say. Yeah, all I would say is just be honest with her. Like, look, I don't want to ruin our friendship over this. So if you say no, or maybe start out with that, and then also if she says no, just say, hey, look, I know this. I was just kind of feeling this way, but I would never want to lose you as a friend. So let's just stay friends then, okay? And I've seen this, I've heard of this situation before. Just be like that. Women will be like, okay, yeah, let's stay friends. I think women are nicer than that, and I think if women understand that you accept that, she'll be fine. And also, women don't like guys who actually like them or who are
simp.
They kind of want like someone who doesn't like them, as you see multiple times, like women date guys who don't actually like them and like try to be with them and like give them penis touches. That. So you do that and then just act like we're friends. Eventually she might like you. She might like you back. And then we want to date you and you can reject her. And that's going to make her like you even more. And that's going to be the thing. And eventually you might work out. So that's the best thing I would say. And that's the best thing I would do. So just doing that now. My friends wanted me to play Fortnite with them. Yeah, so I'm just saying, just be very upfront with her. Ask her out. If she says no, just say, okay, I understand that, and I still want to be friends. So let's not ruin our friendship over this. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. It may be awkward for a minute, and then, but my best suggestion would be just act like things back to normal. Just start, texting her memes of old men jerking off,
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Best thing I can suggest, just send her that. Make her, then start treating her like she's one of your male friends. That's gonna be the thing. Don't treat her like she's a female, like, goddess to you. Treat her like your male friends. Because if you treat her like your male friends, she actually might start liking you back. And if not, you can move on easily and meet someone new. So, all right, that's all the advice I have today. And it looks like this is how we're going to end the very second episode of Cancel Schweezy. We're still going on this bullshit. I can't believe that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I didn't ruin everyone's life and advice and the news. And Sean Foyt's still a piece of shit because he still is. Okay. If you actually do have questions for me and actually want me to answer them on the show, you are always welcome to email the Schwegcast@gmail.com. That's the Schwegcast@gmail.com. I will answer your questions. I usually answer most of them. Like I said, my new song, Oof, out now, ready to rock and roll, and you need to go listen to it. Like, again, most of the time it's free. You can probably listen to it for free. It's on every streaming platform. I made sure of that. I just want to make sure everyone has it, can listen to it, and you know what?
I like that.
But no, more importantly with the song.
And I really like that.
That's what's really important to me. But no, go check that out. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. There's a music video on YouTube, Amazon. I don't know what people listen to music. I know if you're out of the country, you listen to Deezer. That's a big thing. I've heard from foreign countries, and that's why I was wondering, like, who the hell listens to Deezer? And I was like, oh, people from not America. But no, check it out. I just really want you to listen to it and enjoy it. I'm not, like, in the mood to be making money. You know, a lot of people are like, I want to be rich and famous from music. I just want you to listen to it and enjoy it. That's all I care about. If I never make a dime off of it, but I know a lot of people enjoy it and like it, that will mean the world to me. And that's what I really want. So let's do that. Like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button. If you thought I was too controversial, hit the downvote, because I'll be fine with that either way. It's more of a downvote show anyways. Hit the subscribe button because I could really use that. That's what really makes the show better. Wherever you listen to your podcast to, you always have to hit the subscribe button. That's what makes it better. Also, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Schweezy. Mondays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I play video games and I talk and do a lot of bullshit, and it's a lot of fun. Check me out there. And also, if you like the show and want to support us financially, make sure you hit that Patreon link and you can get ad-free episodes of the song. That's what matters. All right. Anyways, I'm going to be signing off. Take it easy. And like always, you stay awesome. Hey, you just finished a full episode of the Schwegcast. I hope your brain cells don't hurt. If you want to support this show financially in the best way possible, go check us out on Patreon for $5 a month. You can get ad-free episodes of the Schwegcast and is the best way to personally support me and this channel.